Hey, it's Pastor James, and it is Thursday of Holy Week, a day around the church we call Maundy Thursday. That means that there's going to be a worship service tonight at 7 p.m. at the church to remember the night in which Jesus was betrayed, and we invite you to come to that. It's a very solemn and moving ceremony, and I think you will love it. In our online devotional series, we are now at Matthew 27, verses 1 to 32. It is a section of the crucifixion story that is hard, it's harsh. It is the section that includes Judas killing himself. It is the section that includes Jesus being turned over to Pilate. It includes the soldiers punishing and torturing him. It includes the crowd yelling for Barabbas and the crowd for Barabbas to be set free and the crowd yelling for Jesus to be crucified. It is at a fevered pitch in the story, and Jesus is in the middle of all of it, having to experience it. It is a violent, hostile, chaotic scene. And he is in the midst of it, and he is going to overcome it. The reality is that the world in which we live is a broken world. It is a hostile, violent, chaotic world. And because Jesus was willing to live in the middle of it and to face it and to defeat it, we can have confidence that he is going to do that eventually for all of creation, that all of creation is going to find its peace. But until that day comes, we live in this world that is not the way God intended it. It is a crooked world. It is a broken world. And there is a lot of pain and there's a lot of suffering in it. And maybe that has crossed your path and you've experienced it, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. But there's good news. You know, Isaiah 40 has Isaiah the prophet declaring that God will answer the crookedness of this world. And he uses those words that Handel picks up in his musical work. And he says, every valley shall be lifted up, every mountain and hill made low, every path that is crooked made straight, and the rough places made plain. That's the promise that you can be certain that God is going to fill. And it's only Jesus who can do that. It's only Jesus who can make this crooked world straight again, and that's what he's come to do. And we need a reminder of that. Sometimes this world gets so overwhelming, so disappointing, it creates so much despair, and it wears us out, it drains us, and we need a reminder of what God has accomplished through Jesus to be our solution, our hope for the world tomorrow. That's why we get together and worship so much on this Holy Week time of year. And we're going to do that tonight. We're going to re-encounter the story of Jesus. We're going to be drawn into that story with music and scripture and prayers and preaching. We're going to have a foot washing as well. We're going to serve one another, the ultimate sign of love. You know, in a world full of chaos and darkness and violence, the good always stands out. If you go back and look at Matthew 27, Simon of Cyrene, he stands out. The women in the crucifixion story stand out as goodness in the midst of the darkness. And we're going to stand out tonight and worship, bringing goodness in the midst of darkness. So I invite you to come. I invite you to come and be ministered to through this worship service and to find your peace in the presence of Jesus. I hope to see you tonight.